Hi everybody, I'm back again and NaNoWriMoing. It's over now, but it just took me a little while to get back into like where I'm going with things, um, with my channels. So for people on Twitch, I'm going to be going once a week and I'm going to be finishing up that story. Now I want to find out what happens in it. That is Red Cloud Walker, which at first I thought was a fantasy, but then when I started reading it, obviously it's science fiction, but it's like an 80s science fiction, so it's steeped in the very 80s thought of science fiction, which is kind of neat. And then for YouTube, I am also going to be, I have a backlog of videos to upload, and I'm going to just be uploading those. I'll be uploading for this one story. I'm only going to upload it once a week because it's really, really insane. Oh, and how about I like actually, there we go. So, so somebody on the chat is asking me how the writing is going. I'm actually now going into, I'm actually taking a break from it for just for a little while. I'm going to be doing editing now of some other books, the ones that I've been reading. For both of you, actually, I'm actually now working on editing Stonecaller. So for those of you who haven't heard me read it, it's on both channels, and you guys can listen to that. That's just me talking, just me reading it out loud and using it for editing purposes. That's what I'm pretty much doing right now. I'm also working on comics, which is not the writing part, but but like I said, I'm also doing some junk writing right now, which I call it junk writing. It's not really junk writing. It's basically, I have this book and I'm doing just sort of basically 20-minute prompts. So I'm just writing and handwriting, and everyone will be so proud of me. I got like almost halfway through this book of just writing short stories. So that's how that's going. I just needed a bit of a break from that main story, and that's kind of the way my creative process is taking breaks as I need to. So yeah, for for handwritten notes, because yeah, as you could see, I was doing this is all like what we call longhand. Long and painfully is what I do. It's all going to be basically typed in. I type at yeah, I'm not a fan of, I've never been a fan of typing either. That was my, not a big fan. But now that I do it my job daily, like my day job is admin, and so I basically always typing. And I kind of got over my hatred of typing for when I was doing that. Also, I guess I could take MSN Messenger back in the day, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I was on Messenger a lot, and that kind of got my typing speed up, which made it a lot easier for me. But I'm still, yeah. Well, and here's the other thing too with the handwritten notes. I actually will be. Funny story about that is I will be having to do typing up a bunch of handwritten notes when I work on my dad's work. That's kind of why I'm focusing more on writing right now, because my background is comics, but because I'm working on my dad's stories, some of his stories are only written and things like that. Like I have a bunch of his notebooks, so I'm having to type those too. So I I learned to like it because I don't really have a choice. That's kind of how that's going. Yeah, but yeah, let me think here. Is there anything else? Yeah, I know because I've watched other channels and they've talked about how it's just like impossible to do handwriting. But the handwriting, it's just, for me, it's a thought process, and it's kind of because it's part, for me, it's kind of a visual thing. When I'm typing, I'm not actually, I know, I wish there was better advice than simply sucking it up. I, I really, really, really like, it's not good advice. It's not. The only other thing I could suggest is if you really, really didn't like typing, because I'm not a fan of it, like so not a fan. Um, the only other option would be is to get yourself some dictation software, and that's not even really software anymore. If you have a Mac, it's pre-programmed into most of it. You know, that's challenging. What you need to have a scanner. Do I know of a handwriting longhand process to go right into an iPad or computer? There's one way you can do that, where you scan it in, and you can if you have a really good, it's called, I'd have to have a scanner, and then there's this thing called, and you could scan it into a PDF. Hmm. Yeah, Wacom does that, I think. I'm pretty sure that Wacom now has text recognition. I can't remember the name of it. Give me 1 second. Now I have to Google it. Now you got me Googling. Way to go. And my computer's really slow right now. Hold on. Uh, nope, that's not how you spell it. But there was this one pad where you could do handwriting, and it would automatically capture your handwriting and try and do what they call OCR. So anything that's electronically captured from scanning and that type of thing. No, that's okay. That's okay. I actually really, it's kind of one of my things. I actually love talking about processes and things like that. So you kind of got me off on a tangent, which is great. Yeah. So with scanners, if you can scan to PDF, you can try with OCR, which is recognition software. Um, Depends whether you have a Mac or PC. If you have a Mac, it's slightly more challenging, but you can try running it when you, basically what you do is you pull it up in PDF, and if you have Adobe, you can you can go try to recognize text based on your handwriting. It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, and you're still gonna have to fix it. If you're to try and go straight from, like, if you already have handwritten stuff and you're trying to scan it in, you can try and do it that way. That's what I'm going to be attempting, and I will, when I do the scanning of that, I think I'll be showing you guys that, because it's going to be amusing to say the least. Um, I can show you what typewritten OCR did, because my dad's manuscripts are only in have only been typewritten out on like a typewriter, so they didn't even have computers back when he was doing them. Very, very long time ago. Anyway, so I had to scan it in. Oh yeah, the Wacom bit. I know, I have to take a look at that one. It is like, I think it's Wacom tablets, but there's also another one. Hold on. Give me a minute here. sorry, this is gonna be really, really fascinating for people who are like, okay, where is it? Yeah, the folio by Wacom. I think that's what it is, and it does handwritten recognition, and it converts it into typing. Um, I'm also seeing that that Surface Pro has that, so I think I gotta say that I'd have to think that I iPad would have some sort of note taking recognition. Now you've got me thinking about that because that would be super handy. And now I'm curious. Oh, hey, look at that. I'm willing to bet you anything. I'm willing to bet you anything. Somewhere, somewhere, somewhere there is that. But yeah, it's the Wacom Folio for that. I'm not sure about the iPad though, but I'm pretty sure there's software. But you want to look up handwriting recognition because that should also convert it to text too. And I know that they've made some big leaps in that as well because I knew I was going to have to. Perfect. I'm glad I could help you out with that. Yeah, I have a tendency that I can't help it. It's just my nature. If I don't know a thing, I try and look it up, and I love looking up things. It's kind of my jam. So, if anyone ever has any questions about things writing related or creative related, let's see here. But in the meantime, yeah. Let me think here. Yeah, I think I might actually do some. I'll probably do some more writing vlogs because that's just the way I am. Because I really really need to focus more on my writing anyway. It's just been me trying to get more and more into it. I've been doing a lot more editing than I have been writing, much to my chagrin. I have some like stories that I'm almost done that I actually should work on finishing the drafts for, but they're not really. But this one that I just finished up in January, I wanted to because it's a sequel to my dad's story, so I wanted to put the focus on that. But I might work on the other ones now. Not right now, because I have other stories that are coming up. Yes, yes, that is very true. And it does. Editing, especially can count as writing when you're editing your own work. I'm not editing my work, so it's not even that I wrote it in the first place. Like that's the editing I'm talking about. I'm talking about editing my dad's books for publishing, which, like I said, if it was my own work, it would be going to an editor and coming back to me because that's one thing I will always tell everybody is that you need to have a second set of eyes. It's one of the things my dad drilled into my head, and I'll drill it into everybody else. Always the second set of eyes. Always. You are not good enough to have it just send out on its own. Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be my main thing is working on editing, which is I have to get my butt in gear this week has been I've been not feeling well and my day job has been really 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 rough. For those of you who aren't on the west coast, then you wouldn't have noticed how rainy it's been. It's been super rainy, and as a result, the more rain means more busy during the day at work, which means by the time I'm done work, I have less than no energy, and then I just have not been feeling well. Not in not in ill sense, just not well. And so I've been having to take extra time, which means everything's running a little bit slower. And I think everyone's kind of getting used to that now because with everything else that's going on right now, I think people are a little more forgiving about times. And I think that's one of the things we have to be more forgiving with ourselves about things not always being able to get done, not letting yourself get away with it necessarily, but just recognizing that sometimes you just need to take the time. And every time I don't take the time, it takes longer for me to get things done than it would have if I would have just taken the time. Yeah. Let me think here. Once again, my fascinating live stream where I have to do lots of ums and hmms. But then again, my my edited videos are not going to be much better. But I'll probably do, I don't know. See, now I kind of want to do, yeah, because I started out my YouTube channel doing readings, and then when I did the NaNoWriMo, I realized I could do like a simulcast, and now that I've done that, I don't really want to go back to. I mean, I do, because I really want to finish reading this story. But YouTube people, you're gonna be confused because it's gonna be in the middle of the story. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Cause what I'll probably do is you guys will have a special day, and then you guys are gonna get the YouTube people will probably get extra stuff while I'm, yeah, I don't know. I have to figure out what I'm doing with this. But I definitely wanna. I think I need to have the writing blog. I had everything all set up, and now I just feel like I need to change it again. I was doing so well. Uh, but I think that's all for tonight because I have to get all this stuff done. I am currently trying to get trying to get this. Yeah, it's like a little scrawly sketch thing because I'm trying to get the character model for it, and that's not it, by the way. That's really not the picture. That's one of the sketches. But if you saw the note, it's too cat-like and not. It's supposed to be a weasel. That's not a weasel, but not just a weasel though. A toy weasel. Yeah, telling a story in a different way, basically. But I might just like slide into doing editing because it'll be easier for me. Ah, no, no. I draw. I basically what I usually do for my comics is I don't draw it in. I scan it in after I've drawn it. Right now, I'm not even at that stage though, because right now I'm just trying to get the idea for the character and how I want the character to look, which is called character modeling, where you just try and like get used to drawing a character a certain way so you can always draw it that same way. And that's where I'm at with this right now, which is unfortunate because I should actually be well through onto page 8 or 9 of the comic. Not there yet. That's because that's not a weasel. It just looks like a cat. Um, Basically, how I do my comics is I draw traditionally. I sometimes ink it. I try to ink it, and then I scan it in, and then I edit it in. Pardon me. I was editing it for the longest time in Photoshop, but now I've moved over to Affinity Photo, which is very similar, but it's not running on a subscription. And I have my handy dandy tablet that I use. And when I say tablet, though, I mean like graphics tablet, not the iPad. I could kind of show people, but it's awkward and I'll end up breaking things. Anyway, yeah, it's like this big, huge, like Wacom tablet, because it's before they had Cintiqs where you're drawing on screens. I'm still drawing on a tablet because I'm not even old fashioned. It's just making the jump from where I'm at right now with my tablet that I have, like the big tablet, to the same size Cintiq. It's not a it's kind of expensive. So, and also I'm not quite used to that. I might actually um get an iPad for that. Okay, good. I'm gonna be taking off anyway. So, you guys take care, and I will talk to you all again really soon. So, it's been nice talking to people in chat. Thank you, chat, and thank you all for tuning in. I will talk to you again really soon. Probably I'm probably gonna do a Tuesday Thursday thing. So there you go. Have a good night, guys.